Good morning. My name is Sheila Gautreaux. I'm one of your ministers here at Unity of Walnut Creek, and it's such a pleasure to welcome you to our 11:30 service. We have a wonderful experience in store for you. Howard Martin of the Heart Math Institute will be here to talk to you about the heart. Our music today is by High Spirits, and you're in for another big treat with them. So sit back and enjoy your experience. It's a delight to always have you with us.
In this moment, in this place, in the stillness of our open hearts, we have come to share the presence of the God within and to hold a sacred space. In this moment, at this time, when we feel the oneness of all, we have come here to build a sanctuary of love. In this moment, in this place, in this moment, in this place. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. Please remain seated and join us in singing It's in Every One of Us. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be free. Find yourself, open your heart and see. We can all have everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now.
Good morning. Join me in acknowledging our song leaders, High Spirits, and our guest performers, High Spirits, backed up by our wonderful house band, Fusion. And won't you join me now in welcoming our online friends? Let's all turn to the camera and do a shout out. Hey! It's such a pleasure to welcome you to our service. Thanks for being with us. Lots of treats in store for you. Sit back, kick off your shoes, and prepare for a wonderful experience. We are delighted, as always, to have you join us. My name is Sheila Gautreau. I'm one of your ministers here, and I'd like to welcome you to our 11:30 service. And if you are new to Unity, I'd like to tell you a little bit about us. We are a positive path for spiritual living. And what does that mean? It means that we offer you opportunities to expand who you are by providing practical tools that may be applied to your life to have more joy, more peace, more love, more loving relationships, to have the life that you wish to live into. We also are here not to help you find out about God, but to find the God of your being within. Our primary practice here is that of the power of affirmative prayer. And we look at the yes action of the mind as it moves and motivates through our lives. And we'd like you to have an experience of that. So if you will join us in our opening prayer statement, which is affirmative prayer. And together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Let's take that in. Breathe into it through our hearts. Let it permeate the cells of our bodies. And again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Let's take that in even deeper. Vibrating at the deepest level of our being. Extending outward, touching those around us and touching our friends online. And once more, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And hold it deeply within ourselves, but allow it to extend out into the world, touching every heart that beats. And so it is. Please remain seated and join our artists in singing Circle of Love.
In the circle of your presence we are one. In the circle of your presence we are one. And we join our hearts together, sharing your unfailing love. In the circle of your presence we are one. In the circle of your presence we are love. In the circle of your presence we are love. And we join our hearts together, sharing your unfailing love. In the circle of your presence we are one. In the circle of your presence we are peace. In the circle of your presence we are peace. And we join our hearts together, sharing your
invite you to begin to prepare for our time of connection with Spirit. And as Reverend David likes to say, let's wiggle around in our seats and find that comfortable space. And if you are comfortable doing so, let us close our eyes to shut out any visual distractions. And let us connect with our hearts and do some deep heart breathing. Let's breathe in through our hearts deeply and out. And in and out. Once more in and out. And as we continue gentle heart breathing, let us allow the universal sound to bring us more deeply into the experience of meditation. Please join us. As that sound continues to vibrate within the depths of our being, resonating with the powerful energy of our hearts, let us open ourselves to gratitude, being grateful. Or as Heart Math says, appreciation. Allow our hearts to fill with appreciation. Offering our gratitude for those things in our lives bring to mind things that you love in your life. Perhaps children, grandchildren, a spouse or a beloved partner, dear friends. Perhaps the work that we love to do that brings us joy. Maybe our special gifts and talents and skills. Bring those wonderful things to the heart and feel the appreciation, the gratitude. Ah, that feels good. And now I invite you to bring to your heart in appreciation and gratitude those things which may not seem so good. those things for which it may be challenging to be grateful. Some condition or situation in our lives, some people that might make us feel not so good in their presence. Maybe a physical condition. I'm inviting you to move beyond your comfort zone and bring to the space of appreciation even those things and people. Surrounding them with appreciation. And hold these things, the good and the seemingly not so good, in the place of the heart as we rest in the silence. Beloved presence, Lord of our being, in whom we live and move and express, we are grateful for your presence in our lives, for the eternal love that surrounds us, for the comfort and the guidance and the direction moving through us in our lives each moment of each day. May we allow that love to pour from our hearts, expressing throughout this sanctuary, through this ministry, extending out into our communities, and reaching into every place in the planet, touching every heart that beats. For we know and acknowledge that divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once more with power, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. and together we say, Amen.
I am surrounded by love. I am filled with love. I am made from love. I am love. I am love. I am surrounded by love. I am filled with love. I am made from love. I am love. I am love. Loving angels gather round. I want to hear your holy sound. Lay your healing hands on me. Won't you help me release? I am surrounded by love. I am filled with love. I am made from love. I am love. I am love. I'm opening up to a mighty light. It's lifting me up to a higher height. I clearly see all the beauty in me, reminding me love sets me free. I am surrounded by love. Sing it with us. I am filled with love. I am made. I am made from love. I am love. I am love. I am surrounded by love. I am filled with love. I am made from love. I am love. I am love. I am surrounded by love. I am filled with love. I am made from love. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love.
Good morning. Thank you, High Spirits. Got me all toe tapping this morning. My name is Javier Cortez, and it's truly my pleasure to be your platform assistant. Join Reverend David for Christmas holiday retreat, the 1st December Friday evening and all day Saturday. Give yourself a special gift of a mystical Christmas experience at the beautiful retreat in Clayton. To sign up, please see Barbara in the book center. Once again, we will have our fabulous Thanksgiving noon potluck dinner. Sign up on the patio or in the book center. It's fun time with your Unity family. Our special Thanksgiving service will be on the last Sunday of the month. Join Reverend David and all our community as we give heartfelt thanks together. And next Sunday, we're excited to have Reverend Mary Omwake as our guest speaker. The title of her message is Something Wonderful is Happening Right Now. Reverend Mary has served Thriving Unity Ministries for 25 years. Find out more about these classes and many other activities in your bulletin or on our website. So now, until you hear the gong, please take a short moment to greet the people immediately around you.
Lions and lambs, saints and sinners, best friends, enemies, woman and man, losers and winners, they are all in you and me.
We are one heart looking for answers.
One soul finding our way through the dark.
One dream we share together.
We are all a part. one heart. Out in the cold, there are faces hidden by the wind and rain. Hold out your hand, someone will take it and bring you home again. One heart,
Looking for answers, we are
one soul,
finding our way through the dark.
one dream.
We share together.
We are all a part of one heart around the world tonight. Ah, the fires are burning. Tears are falling from the sky. But still the world keeps turning. One heart, one soul, one dream. We are all a part.
One heart, looking for answers, we are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part. We are one heart, looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part. We are one heart. We are one soul. We are one dream we share together. We are all a part of one heart. We are all a part of one
And I have a wowee for you now. We have in our midst a co-founder of the Heart Math Institute with Doc Childra, who has also co-authored the book with Doc Childra, The Heart Math Solution. I'm talking about Howard Martin. Howard has also been leader in the global initiative to bring the science and the message and the tools of heart math for the world. He has spoken in over 50 cities and 4 continents, bringing this powerful process of healing to as many people as possible, and he has only scratched the surface. He is primary spokesperson for the Heart Math Institute. And his powerful messages and powerful programs have inspired many, many people. And I pray that it will inspire you today. Please welcome Howard Martin.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Bill. Good day, wonderful people.
Good day to you.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome into your spiritual homes. Much, much appreciated. And I want to let you know that all of us at HeartMath are aware that at this particular church, that for many years now, you've studied the work that we've done over these last 25 years. And in many ways, you've integrated that into what you do in your personal lives and into this church here. And I want you to know that that does not go unnoticed by us at HeartMath. And I want to appreciate you and thank you so much for the work that you've done. So give yourself a round of applause. So what I want to do today is talk about some things that have been in my recent thinking, some things that have been in my recent writings. And the title of my talk today is Dancing with the Rhythm of Life. Many people would feel, I think now, that life has been getting faster and faster and faster and faster. Would that be true for you? Yes. Most people feel that way regardless of where I am in the world. It's a global event that's taking place to where things are in fact getting faster. More events are happening in less time than ever before in the history of our world. Now, there are many reasons that this is occurring. One would be this, that if you look at the externalization of things in society, for the last, say, 150 years, everybody's been trying to speed up. All the systems have been getting faster and faster and faster. Think about, for instance, transportation. 150 years ago, most people were getting around either walking or on an animal. Then they put like steamships and trains and things like that came out. That was a big deal, but very few people had access to them. So they were traveling, mostly on foot or riding a horse or something like that. Look at today. We had the advent of the car, the turn of the century. Cars got bigger, cars got faster, roads got bigger, freeways got built, everything getting faster and faster and faster. Then there was the airline industry. It's grown and grown and grown today, so we can all travel around the world in a relatively short amount of time. We can be from one part of the world to another in a matter of a day, really. And that's unprecedented, that much change. Then think about, obviously, communication systems. Around the late 1800s, we had a telegraph. That was a big deal. And then the telephone. And then we had radio. Then we had television. Then we had color television. Then we had, cable TV. All those things were what? We're getting information out faster and faster and faster. Another thing to notice is even if you're watching a movie today or watching TV, notice how fast the scenes change. The camera angles change. Do the old 1001, 1002 deal, and you won't see a shot on a screen for more than 3 seconds. They're constantly shifting, flashing images at us. If you look at a movie from, say, 20 years ago, you'll see that it's not quite that way. They've adapted to the speed and began to make movies and television shows that way. Commercials, wow. They keep a shot on a screen for a couple of seconds at most. Everything's gotten faster. Then we have the internet, of course. And what that did to the world and the speed of information exchange that way. And then we've got now mobile devices. Now everybody's living their life through this small screen, using their phones and their pads to experience the world. All this has happened in what? 150 years. That's all. 150 years ago, a very different world. So the intention to get faster was there. Why would that be? It's because there was a speed up on the inside. The vibratory rate of consciousness began to move quicker and faster. And it externalized in things like the systems that I mentioned just a few minutes ago. The desire for speed was there because the consciousness was speeding up. And that's why things have gotten faster and faster and faster today. There are other reasons too, and we'll talk about some of those this afternoon in the workshop I'm going to do about the dimensional shift in consciousness that's taking place, which is a driver of the speed up on the inside, which is showing up on the outside. Now, the acceleration that we are experiencing is a very good thing in many ways, because the same vibratory rate increase that's creating the external changes is also giving us the greatest opportunity to grow that we've ever had before. We can grow and change in new ways now. Never before we've had this opportunity. So it's a very, very good thing. But it can also be very daunting, can't it? So much change happening in such a amount of time, things happening on the outside faster than we can keep up with them, things beginning to happen on the inside faster than we can often understand. And that can create an internal tension inside each and every one of us. Certainly does for me, and I'm sure it does for most of you. It's just part of the awkwardness of this time that we live in, an awkwardness of moving from old to new. That's all it really is. And adapting and learning how to dance and flow and move with that speed is a new skill set that we are adapting to and developing and sorely need in today's world. How do we manage that flow? How do we find it? Well, there's a rhythm in life. There always is. There's always a perfect rhythm that's going on. It's always there. It never really goes away. What happens is through our own perceptions and choices, we go away from it. We find ourselves out of sync with the flow and rhythm of life. And there are many things that do that. When I was much younger, I was a musician. I was a drummer. And so rhythm has always been a part of my life. I don't play anymore and haven't for a really long time and don't miss it or any of that sort of thing. But it was embedded in me from the time I was a little boy at 9 years old all the way till I was in my early 30s. That was what I did. That's who I was. That was my passion. And I remember when I was in my early 20s, I was playing with a guy in Detroit who'd had a million-selling record. His name was Skip Van Winkle. He had this band called Teagarden and Van Winkle that had this big million-selling record called God, Love, and Rock and Roll. And Skip was this Oklahoma dude. You know, he's this Okie guy, and he had this big cowboy hat, and he had the long, wide mustache and all that, you know. And he played the big Hammond B3 organ. He'd sit there. And he was all about what he called the groove. He didn't care about how flashy anybody played, none of that. Whether as a drummer ever played a flashy lick or any of that, all he wanted was the groove, the feel of that. And he used to sit me down across from his organ. He played the bass pedals with his feet, and he'd sit me there for 2 hours, just changing back and forth different grooves, making me keep up with that. So I'd find that sweet spot in the center of it all as he changed up the various grooves with me. So I began to look for the groove, and I found that the groove was elusive, just like the rhythm of life can be elusive. There are many factors that can keep us out of that flow, external things we don't expect, you know, a change that occurs. A lot of things can take us out of that flow. But one of the things, even as a young man, I began to do was to be able to connect the dots a little bit. To recognize it wasn't always because the venue wasn't right or because somebody else in the band wasn't playing in the groove. A lot of being in the groove or not was how I was dealing with life. Was I upset with my girlfriend? Had I just had a blowout with one of the roadies about something? You know, what was I processing internally, and how was that affecting my ability to find and tag that groove? So in a very rudimentary way, what Skip taught me was about the groove, and in finding that groove or looking for that groove, I learned something about myself and about life. So we all are looking for the groove, in a sense. And it's not how flashy we play. It's all about whether we find that flow and that rhythm and that pocket and how we more gracefully move through the changes in life as the speed gets faster and faster and faster. Now, one of the things that we've maladapted to in relationship to the speed of change is that because everything is faster and because everything has got this sense of immediacy around us, we have a tendency to want what we want when we want it. A sense of entitlement that we want it right now. Whether it's the food at the restaurant or the traffic that's going or something external in our life or the new relationship or the better job or any of those things, we want it now. And when we don't get it, what happens is we go into a different type of rhythm called impatience. It's true. Impatience is an out-of-sync energy. It's one that's not in the groove. It's not in the pocket. It's one where we want life to go faster than it is. And we have an internal reaction to that that creates a sense of tension inside ourselves. Does anybody really like the feeling of impatience? But yet, how much do we experience of impatience? A lot, don't we? I certainly go through those phases in my life. So impatience is the anecdote. It's not the anecdote, but the opposite of being in the groove. It's that feeling that something should be faster than it is, and we want more, we want now, we want this, we want that, and when we don't get it, we feel upset, and we got a right to feel upset because that's not the way it's supposed to be. So we rationalize our impatience, and we're really good at that, coming up with why it ought to be faster and why it's not. And when we finally get to that place where our impatience gets strong enough, we take it a whole nother level that we're really good at. It's called blame. See, there's a group of people in the world. There's only one group, really, that creates all the problems. If you think about it. It's called they. If they would do this, I would be happy. If they would stop doing that, I'd be even happier. It's always they, whether it's they in our close relationships, or they the government, or they the businesses, or they this, that, and the others. But they create the problems. And we want them to change. And when we don't get that change, then we have what? Impatience, which is out of the groove, out of the pocket, out of the dance with the rhythm of life. We are not dancing gracefully at that point. It's a choppy kind of thing that's going on. Now, impatience shows up a lot of different ways. And one of the ways that I want to mention to you is something that I feel is an undercurrent a lot of times in the spiritual and consciousness movements. And that is the desire to see the world change and become something that we've all envisioned that it can be. Now, we've all gone through many, many years of work on ourselves, and we've all had our own visions of a new world, and a new world that operates on the principles of love and care and kindness and the things that are embodied in this church and in this service. And I think for many of us, we want the world to be more like that too, don't we? Yes. So there was a big build-up, that we went through leading up to this magic year called 2012, right? And 2012 was supposed to be the big shift, the big year. Everything was going to go down, and we were going to wake up, on December the 22nd, and the world's going to be different, right? People tried not to have those expectations, and they would verbalize that they didn't. But at an internal level, at maybe an even unseen level to a lot of people, they were feeling that. They were feeling that now we're going to see something. Now we're going to get verification. Now we're going to find that all this hard work that we've done on ourselves is paying off, and that the world's finally going to see it like we see it. And they wanted it all to happen quick. And there was a lot of promise built up about all the astrological things and all the things that were occurring in 2012 and the alignment with the central sun and all these things. And because of that, we were going to see the big change. So as I began to go out into 2013 to speak different places, I remember going to, the first place that I was going that year was Australia. And I remember having thoughts about this on the airplane, and I realized that what I was feeling somewhat in myself, but also seeing in others, was this quiet disappointment. That something didn't happen. I believe that a lot did happen, but it didn't manifest and materialize itself instantaneously. And we are a society that wants it what? Now. We want it now. So we wanted it now, wanted it to change. It didn't change overnight, and there we have this it's okay, no big deal. I knew it wasn't going to be that way. There was nothing going to big happen, but it's nice to know about all that. But underneath an energetic of a quiet disappointment. So that's impatience of wanting it now, wanting the world to change, wanting it to be like we want it to be. So as time has gone on, it seems to be that the events happening on the world stage can be even more disconcerting than they were before. As we look at some of the things that are happening in the world. And I just sort of summarize some of it as what I call, I guess this could be classified as a judgment, but I call it aberrant behavior. Just crazy stuff that's going on out there in the world. And it seems to be more and more and more of it. So it can almost look in some ways like things went backwards and not forwards. Things have gotten harder. Things have gotten tougher. Things have gotten crazier than they were before. And what happened to the shift? What happened to that? What happened to our hopes and our dreams and all of that? Well, the opposite of impatience is what? Patience. So the cultivation of patience, which is really the central core of what I'm sharing with you today, is actually to find a new place inside our hearts. A place that is there, that does exist, an aspect of heart that you wouldn't necessarily see overtly as heart. And it's called patience. The ability to let things unfold and give things time. To allow for a flow, to allow for the rhythm of life to move as it will. Recognizing that we don't control all that. We can learn to flow with it, learn to merge with it, and give things time. Give things time to ripen and manifest and unfold. As we do that, we're actually doing a great service to ourselves, right on down to our physical health. but we're also doing a great service to the world. Because we put out an energetic, just like you did in the meditation that Sheila did, putting that love into the world. That feeling of patience, that ease, that calm, allows things to unfold in a kinder, gentler way, rather than pushing and driving. You've got to change now, and coming up with all the reasons and judgments and blames to other people about what they won't change, or systems that won't change. That's not going to get us there. What's going to get us there is something that's much more sophisticated than that. It's where you sort of find the way of easing through it and flowing with it. And that's there, and it lives inside our hearts. It's an aspect of heart intelligence. Heart intelligence is a lot of times looked at as just being loving, kind, caring, those things. That is heart intelligence. But there's also nuances of it as well, more subtle nuances. One of those would be patience. So when we look at the world through the eyes of patience, we can see that things are moving very, very quickly, that speed of change is in fact happening, and that new things are emerging all the time, not just the aberrant behavior that we tend to focus on sometimes when we watch the news or read different things. That there is a tremendous amount of growth happening in the world today. There are hundreds and hundreds of millions of people around the world who have already adopted a new set of values and beliefs, who are manifesting those values and beliefs in their lives. That what's trying to change is not easy to change, to change the way, the paradigm in which the world functions. It's happening very quickly. I'll speak about this afternoon, but it's all happening. A big shift is happening in a period of only about 100 years. And in 100 years is a long time in relationship to our personal lives, but a short time in the history of our world. And we're about halfway through this major shift right now, in my opinion. Sometimes people quote other people. I quote myself. But according to Howard Martin, we're about halfway through it. And so we're sort of in the middle of it, and it is unfolding. And as we see it through the eyes of patience rather than the eyes of impatience, wanting it to be now, then we begin to see a different picture. And we also see a different relationship to that picture, our own personal relationship. All that's happening in front of our very eyes. It's just a matter of whether we can see it or not. But that impatient energy blocks us from seeing it. It makes us want something that can't be but so fast. It creates that backwash in our system that leads to disappointment. So don't be disappointed, my friends. The world is moving on. Things are going better than we think. Yeah, there's some hard road to walk between now and where we're going to end up. It's not going to be easy. Some of that we can control, some of it we can't. One of the things we can control is that we can make a contribution, at least a very valuable and powerful contribution, to making this time period and where it's going to go as kind a gentle process as it can be, while allowing for the practical understanding that things don't change easily, that are trying to change as big as what we're seeing today, but to have that kindness and care. Now, the last thing I want to say about patience this morning is that one of the key areas that I'd like to emphasize with all of you is please, please, please be patient with yourself, with the changes that you're trying to make in your life. When you get that nudge from Spirit about things you need to do or not do, or changes you need to make in your external lives, or things on the inside with your attitudes and things like that, sometimes I sense that we take that to a point where we feel like, again, we got to do it now, we got to do it now. And it's that same driving energy that if we don't do it, we're going to be wrong, we're going to be bad, we're going to be, all these things, or we're going to miss something. All these things come up in consciousness. So we feel like we have to do it now, and then when we don't meet our own expectations. We go right into the trap of self-judgment. That self-judgment lowers our pitch, our vibratory rate, makes things harder. So a key area to apply patience would be, please be patient with yourself. That's an act of self-love, is to be patient with yourself, to recognize you're doing a lot, that you're doing the very best you can in the midst of a quickly changing world, that it is people like you that are doing some serious work on themselves that are contributing to the shift, and that you're not always going to get it as fast as you want it or meet your own expectations as fast as you might like to. But don't let that become impatience with yourself. Find that sweet spot, that balance. Find the groove to where, yes, you're moving forward with intention, but you're not driving and pushing and thinking you got to do it all today. You find that place and you'll move into sort of a jet stream flow, and you'll merge with the rhythm of life and with a shift. So the kindest thing that you can do for yourself right now would be to practice coming into a new level of understanding patience. We all understand it to a degree, but as we move through the evolutionary spiral, old things take on new clothes. And so recognize that patience is an unfoldment process. Let that be first with yourself. I'll be back later this afternoon to talk about dimensional shifts and all that wild stuff. Yeah. Vibratory rate and pitch, the energetic connectivity between all living systems and coherence builders and more things like that from 2 to 4. But thank you again for what you've done here at this church and for your time today. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jabari. Thank you, Jabari, and High Spirits, and definitely Howard Martin. Thank you very much. Our heart ministers are available after the service today to offer prayer support for challenges or celebrations. You may see them around the sanctuary and grounds praying with others. Our heart ministers are wearing the lavender stoles. Your prayer requests can also be sent at any time from our website. I now ask everyone to take a connection card from the seat pocket in front of you. We invite each of you to take a moment to fill out this card if you have a prayer request, a question, or a comment. If you are new to Unity, you are invited to fill out the card and stop by the welcome table on the patio. We look forward to meeting you. Thank you for checking the box if you're joining us in our weekly spiritual focus. Our weekly spiritual focus this week, and I want to quote Howard Martin, patience. I kind of like quoting the guy when he's right here in front of you. The ushers will receive your card with the offering towards the end of the music. It's time for our prosperity celebration. For credit card donations, there are envelopes provided in the back of each chair. Or for those of you at home, just click on the donate button on the Watch Live page. One of the understandings of the great spiritual laws is that by giving, that we expand the flow of goodness in our lives. Jesus, the master teacher, told us this. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured onto your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. I invite you now to take your tithe or offering in your hand. Be aware that God is the source of all your good. Repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am truly grateful.
Yes, yes,
Yes, yes to life.
I'm saying yes,
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 yes, yes to life.
I'm saying yes, yes,
Yes, yes to life.
I'm saying yes,
Yes,
yes, yes. Oh, I'm saying yes tonight. The spirit of love within me is expressing itself right now. The spirit of joy within me is expressing itself right now. What are we going to create today? just got to say yes. Right now, whatsoever you conceive, if you believe it, you can achieve. Yes. The universe will always agree if you just say yes. Oh, say yes.
Hi, kids. Everybody say hi to our kids. Okay, we want to bless you. You ready? Okay, everybody, let's bless our kids. Children, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. And so it is. And let's do our prayer for protection and our peace song. You could hear somewhere? Can you hold two people's hands? Yeah, great. Okay, and our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God ever present, family all are we.
moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
You are the love, the light, and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have